Nabil Abdul Rashid, a beast of a comedian, is on the podcast. I love this guy. I've worked with him for years, and I've done lots of comedy shows with him. But obviously, recently you'll remember him from Britain's Got Talent. He got the Golden Buzzer. He's done Celebrity MasterChef. He's got loads of other kind of mainstream telly stuff coming up. So you'll see him all over the telly, and he'll no doubt keep soaring on to bigger audiences and more fame and notoriety. But more so than that, what I love about Nabil is he's got this huge stage persona and presence, and he is hilarious, and he is so strong on stage, but just like all of us, he's just a bloke. He's a father, he's a husband, and he wants to do the right thing. And he talks about how him training and his grappling and his fighting and the stuff that he does, the jiu-jitsu, how that can help him on stage, and how really it's the same thing. I'll let him phrase it because he puts it perfectly. But this is really for anyone who maybe has moments where they don't feel confident, who maybe thinks, looking at other people and thinks, oh look at them, they seem so confident, they come across so sure of themselves. You know what? We all have doubts, we all have fears, we all are working away at our craft or our game, whatever it is that we're into. And Nabil's just a guy doing his thing, and he's doing it very, very well, and I'm super proud that he's on the podcast. So enjoy the chat with the hilarious, the brilliant, the fully focused, the warrior that is Nabil Abdul Rashid.
How are you? How's the back?
Good, not too bad.
Yeah,
Not too bad.
better today. Did you get a little massage? Someone looking after you?
I've got like a massage pillow.
Oh yeah, you said you got massage pillow,
Yeah.
not massage gun. What? So
So like you can actually just put it on a seat or something and sit down, and it's like a Japanese style shiatsu massage, and it heats up as well. So you just have like a good hour, half hour. Because the problem with the gun is you need to find someone else to use it.
well,
So
for your back, you need to find about 3 people to use it.
yeah,
But it's this is all because you go for it in the gym. See, I don't go for it. I do 50-60% in the gym so I can go back the next day because I just hurt myself all the time. But when you go in, what you go in, don't you?
yeah. I suppose it's that, and also I've got a lot of injuries from when I was younger. So like a lot of people will see me and think, oh, I'm a lazy guy, which is why I put on weight. But actually, it's because when I was younger, I was a proper athlete. But the problem is that I got a lot of injuries from every sport that I played. So with basketball, I got injuries. With boxing, I got injuries. Judo, jiu-jitsu, all that stuff led to injuries.
So
You know,
like where? Like to what? Like because basketball can
so
be like
like
knee injuries, and then something
yeah,
else is.
ACL, meniscus, rotator cuff on my shoulder, spinal injuries, all kinds of stuff. You know,
But Nabil, I've felt you in the nicest possible way.
yeah.
There is nothing lazy about your frame and physique. You
I,
you're a flipping building. It's like a wall. No, but come on. I'm talking like something, like even like yesterday I sat in the car behind you. I just wanted to touch your shoulders and arm because I'm like, it's just like it's packed. It's packed. You're not a big guy like oh yeah, he's a big guy, wobbly big guy, let himself go. Do you feel strong? You must feel as strong as you are because you
you know,
feel it to me.
that's an interesting question. Do I feel strong? No, I don't. I feel normal.
Oh
I,
man.
I feel just normal. It's only when, like, for example, I find myself where I have to help people with stuff that I realize, oh, I'm stronger than most people. Like, I remember when the Grenfell thing happened. May those souls, may Allah bless them and stuff. But like, we were gathering stuff. Like, I got a bunch of vans. I used to run a charity, so I got a van, and people came with vans, and we got like a bunch of stuff from London, South London. I went into Grenfell, and people were loading stuff into one of the official places where we're supposed to take the canned foods and so on. And people were carrying like one tray each. And I was like, what's wrong with you bunch of gandus? So I decided, fuck,
Yeah.
people are dying and you're carrying like one tray. So I would like eat like 6. So I'll be carrying flour, 5 trays of tin tomatoes, rice on one shoulder, flour on the other, and I could just do it without
No problem.
I didn't think that I was. So I was like, brother, you don't have to show off. Don't injure. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not showing off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help. It was only then that I realized when I was giving this stuff to other people, like, oh, they're not strong enough to carry.
No, you're right. You're like, because, and
No.
that's what I mean. I look at you and I think physically, we can't be the same species. If you rewind time and look at the DNA, I'm like, there's something else, or there's something else that's gone to, because it's just, like I said, it's solid. You're so solid. But then, okay, so that's a lot. Okay, so is this from playing sport all your life then as well? I'm sure it's good stock and good genes and all that kind of stuff, and diets from your ancestors and all that kind of stuff. But you said, because I know you're into the grappling and all the, I thought it was all from your kind of grappling-y, fighting-y stuff, because all that is so core strength orientated.
As far back as I can remember, I've always been stronger than I look. Like, even when I was a kid, like when I was little, and the thing is, my children like that now. So, like, from about the age of 5, I was always stronger than everyone else.
Right.
Or most people. And if somebody was stronger than me, they were much older or much, much bigger. Or like when I meet people now that are stronger than me, they train hard.
Yeah.
Right. But like just naturally, like I've never met a human being I can't pick up.
That's so funny.
It wasn't something I thought about until when I was in my teens, that people were like, you're really strong. You should, and people always say you should go into powerlifting. And one of my regrets is I didn't take up powerlifting sooner. Now that I have injuries is when I have an interest in it.
Yeah.
But like, obviously it's a injury prone sport. But I think you're Punjabi, right? So
right.
Your ancestors were farmers. In Nigeria, we used to work. We had a farm. So as a kid, I worked on a farm. Like I was planting mogo and all of that kind of stuff.
From a young age, teenage years. When was that? What was that?
I think like from like 9, 10. So I was already really strong, and then doing stuff like that, just But it's funny because like even with my kids, I remember my first daughter when she was about 1. She wasn't even more than 1 year old. I remember picking her up, right, because she was playing with like a shopping bag with bottles of water in it. I remember picking her up and carrying her, and then I felt something tapping my back. I didn't realize the carrier bag, right, had 3 or 4 like of these kind of
the big 2-liter-y, right,
yeah.
big bottles of water, right?
My daughter was just holding it like that.
And how old is she?
Then she was 1. Now she's just turned 7.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm just dealing with something now because 2 boys in her class tried to bully her just today, and she beat up both of them.
Well, actually, beat them?
Yeah, like they hit her first, and she defended herself.
Yeah.
But only she got punished. So like I'm trying to talk to the school now about it because it's not fair. How can you enable boys to hit a child?
And not only that,
female child.
How can you punish a girl to when
for defending herself?
Anyone for defending themselves.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because like.
But okay, hold a minute, Nabil. How proud are you that she whooped 2 boys?
Oh, I was very happy, especially when I heard one of them got head kicked. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow, that's a full move. So you haven't. I mean, you must have taught her a few moves as well because of you.
Oh yeah, she trained. She just got her 2nd grading for jiu-jitsu on this Saturday that passed.
Yeah.
And she's been kickboxing since she was 3 in a gym. But I've been teaching her since I teach my children from they can walk to defend themselves because I think it's very important.
And the jiu-jitsu game isn't about going around flexing your power to other people. Look at the size of your fist. It looks ridiculous in that picture. Right? It just looks like it's ridiculous. Like, it's huge. But it's about that as well. It's about staying cool. It's about staying controlled. What I find so amazing about jiu-jitsu people is they're so level. They're so level in their spirit.
That's what draws me to the sport. I enjoy it because I think jiu-jitsu is a skill that everybody should try and pick up, not for the physical aspects, but because it makes you think. Because grappling is the only sport you can go, like combat sport, you can go 100% every day, and probably still go home with no marks on your face or whatever. And, you know, a move that could kill you in jiu-jitsu is a move you practice every single day. So, like, you feel a choke, you have to find a way to get out of that position, or someone's on top of you, you find a way to reverse it. And in so doing, your brain builds up a resistance to problems. You are in a compromised situation, and you learn to stay calm, even though you're in the worst situation. Like, there's no more intimidating situation than having another human being on top of you trying to choke you or break your arm, right? Now, why I like jiu-jitsu as well is it makes you humble, because you have a very realistic understanding of your abilities. So, like, someone gets on top of you, you reverse the situation, you put them in a choke, you know for a fact that if you wanted to kill that person, you could.
Yeah.
Because that choke, 4 seconds, people go to sleep. So that's why we have the tap. Every time you tap, you're saying, you've just broken my arm. In theory, you could have, or you could have just choked me to death.
Yeah.
But then we can get up and go at it again and learn from the mistake. So I love the sport, and I'm so glad that both my kids are doing it now.
And isn't that really kind of, in terms of people talk about comedy being the most scariest thing in the world?
Yep.
Doesn't that just absolutely correlate? You're there, you're terrified, effectively, and I know we all are on stage.
Of course.
It's them, all of them, hundreds, if not for you, thousands of people, if not for you, millions of people on BGT and all that, right? Right? They've all got that. They all got the chokehold on you. Like, go on, fail, big boy. Let's see you, right? And you've got to be cool and find the next move, find the next word, find the next beat.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, I have terrible stage fright. I think out of all the comics that, you know, my stage fright is the worst.
Really?
Right? Like, yeah, it's terrible.
What's it feel like? What goes, like how? Like, what goes through you?
It's like I feel a heavy weight on my body. My body starts shaking. Sometimes my mouth goes dry. My breathing, everything. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I have this conversation in my head every time, like, how am I supposed to make these people laugh? Why? I can't remember any of my jokes. Every single time before I go on stage, without fail, even the last time you saw me, I just experienced it. I was like, I don't remember my jokes. How am I going to get on stage? Like, I'm not even funny though. What am I doing here? And you know what? The only time I feel that same amount of fear is when I put on a pair of gloves and we're about to spar around. It's the exact same level of fear. Wow. It's just as scary as getting into a fight. But as soon as you get hit the first time, all the fear just goes away.
Yeah. And in the same way, as soon as you drop the first line, you're like, bang, you're in. I'm rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the beauty. Comedy, for me, is like fighting. Yeah. So
you're right. But I mean, look at that. You do the most terrifying things in the world. And so you're fighting, grappling, and doing comedy. I mean, actually, let's on the comedy element. It's going really well. I mean, the BGT thing was big. No, but that's got, you know, everyone has their thing.
I'm not Tommy Sandhu, you know.
No, well, you know, and Tommy Sandhu is no Nabil Abdul Rashid. So don't worry. We want to. I look at you. And I see someone who's absolutely fearless. And not only that, when I see you walk out on the stage, I see you command presence. And that's admirable, because I want to have a presence like that. I'd love to know that I walk in and people just see this stature of a man. They don't. For me, they see a bald guy kind of going, all right, how's it going? And trying to be funny. But there's an amazing presence. And with that, because you play on your physicality so well, you can like camp it up, you can soften it up, you do the little voices, little hand actions.
Well, you just said camp it up. My wife just turned and looked at me like...
No, but you do. You go, oh, you do all your little noises and stuff, you know, and you know, and so but that's what's hilarious, and that's what's so endearing as well, because it's like.
Are you sure this isn't just something that you enjoy?
Maybe I just enjoy, you know, very large black men acting camp. I don't know. It might be my thing. I don't know.
You're making it sound like my entire act just you get
no, but
that's a different kind of show.
Yeah, but that awareness of yourself, that's so important, and I think you see that and you play on it, and you have that.
Absolutely, you know, comedy again, like fighting, is all about misdirection. you know? So it's like there's so many things. You make them think you're going one way and then you go the other. You fake the jab and go for a takedown. It's that same thing. In my head, I always have to simplify a task.
Yeah.
Even my wife will tell you that's my approach to life. I always try and break down everything into smaller things. And that makes sense for me. So like things are funny because we don't expect them. Or things are funny because we think we just realized something that nobody else did.
Yeah.
If you look at when we laugh at things, it's always something is out of place, so it's funny. We don't understand something is strange, so it's funny. Or we realize something before everyone else. So those three things give you different kinds of laughter. This is a strange thing. Ha ha ha, what's that?
Yeah.
Right? He went this way, that way. Oh, that's funny. And then the slow laughter that builds is when you realize something and think nobody else did. And then you realize everyone else did. And then you're like, oh, too. And we all laugh together. They're basically the three basic types of laugh.
Yeah.
And, as a comic, I like to combine these things. Some people just come on and, they just tell the jokes and there's no structure to what they do. But I like to structure. Like if when you watch me, I like it to be an experience. I like to walk people into a joke and they didn't realize I was telling a joke.
But again, that's jiu-jitsu. That's the move. It's a chessboard of moves. It's it's all that. It's like pacing it, kind of going, so you think I'm going to reach for the ankle and this, but I've actually got you by the shoulder and the neck, whatever. So it's that same structural approach. So if you're that focused, if you have that kind of discipline with your jokes and with your sport, let's just call it, and probably would, because it wouldn't just apply to grappling. I'm sure you were the same with basketball or other sports that you did, right? Are you like that throughout life? Because I find a lot of comedians can't, and I know your wife's there because my wife's just out of shot as well. She can hear all this. I'm terrible when it comes to just being 3-4 moves ahead in life. Like I can only just deal with myself and what I need to do on stage. And I find that's quite common with a lot of comedians. They just we're terrible people in some respects.
We would make brilliant assassins. We would make brilliant secret agents. Because, someone said, comedians must be very foolish people. I'm like, no. To be a comedian, you have to be a very serious-minded person because you have to be able to disconnect from everybody to find the peculiar things that are funny. And I find that the more surreal a comedian is on stage, the more mundane a comedian can make jokes about things. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Michael McIntyre is a very serious man.
Yeah.
Because somebody can do material, a whole 20 minutes talking about salt and pepper and conversations they would have in the spice jar. Like, that sounds stupid, ridiculous to us. But then think about it. Somebody sat down and thought about all this stuff. Does that strike you as a person that isn't a thinker? So you watch any interview with a comedian discussing politics, and sometimes it's more enlightening than when a politician is talking. Because comedians sit down and think for a living. Yeah. Politicians a lot of the time don't even know what they're talking about. They're just repeating what someone else said. So we should have comedians rule the country. I mean, we already do Boris Johnson scenarios. But,
exactly, they are. And you're right. There's a fine line, and that's why I would say, the green room chats, the car chats that we have on the way back and forth from gigs, they're the best ones. And comedians have got opinions. So what are you like? What are you like as a dad? Are you involved? Are you full, apart from just teaching them how to defend themselves? What?
That's the only thing I do. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very obviously as a busy comic now, like when I'm at home and I'm around the kids, I am involved. I'm a cooking dad.
Yeah.
I would like to say I clean, but my wife will tell you that is not true. So but I'm a nurturing dad. Every teacher, like my kid, the parents at my kids' school all know who I am. They know, wherever my kids go, my presence is felt because, where possible, I'm there. They know that's their dad sort of thing. I'm very much a proud father. For me, it's not a hat that I put on. It's, I can't imagine life now without the mantle of fatherhood. I think, as you will probably say yourself, being a father, being a husband, takes your masculinity and manliness up a notch. But then when you become a father, it kind of activates something else. You're not just doing things for yourself anymore. You come, in fact, as a father, really and truly, all you're doing is preparing your replacement, because that's what your children are. So like, I'm already dead as far as I'm concerned. Everything is for my kids, you know. So and so even when I do things for them, it's not like a chore or whatever. That's what I exist to do. What's my use? That's why I don't understand people that don't look after their kids. Like, what's your use now? I'm the old iPhone. This is the new.
Yeah. Yeah, like transfer the data, transfer the numbers, transfer the knowledge. Like, there's no point you hanging on to it and just corrupting your files and being left in a drawer. You're right. Someone once said to me, fatherhood is just preparing your kids to survive in the world without you. So you want to just kind of go, look, let me just tell you what I know and what I see. But you're raising, if you don't mind me saying, a family that's different to your family. You've got a mix of cultures, a mix of languages, a mix of kind of, I suppose, references and things like that. Do you feel that, or is it like no, I'm raising the Rashid household, that's it, and there's Rashid values?
I think we're all gonna be unique from our parents anyway, even if we look exactly like them and our families look exactly like theirs. You know, the cultures that we have aren't that old. If you look at your history, like, the words in your language, many of them come from Persian. How did that happen?
Yeah.
So it's like, even when we see that we're doing something new by mixing with other cultures, there's islands that basically look like what my children are, and they're the same combination. You know, my house is like a small Guyana, basically. So in terms of culture, I am of the belief, a very wise friend of mine said something to me, and it's rung true. Real culture is all the same. How culturally different are you from me? Does your culture teach you to protect your wife and kids? Does your culture teach you that you're a provider and a protector?
Yeah.
Does your culture teach you to respect your elders?
Yeah, of course.
Does your culture teach you to wash your ass?
As often as possible, right?
Then are we different?
No, you're right.
If you answer no to any of those things, then I'll say, okay, our cultures are different. But from you wash your ass, protect your family, provide for them, respect your elders, we have the same culture.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. But it's values, it's morals, and I know you are a man of moral and principle and value. You carry that with you. But then, is that not an?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure my wife can hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but hey, listen. One of the first stories I remember, seeing as she's there, I'll say this now, so if you can. One of the first stories I remember you telling me was about your wife, and about the love for her, and about you having to be there for her in a certain situation where she needed you, because there was some issue, and you went running across some part of London, wherever it was. Do you remember the story I'm talking about? I don't want to kind of delve into it.
Yeah, I remember.
Right. Yeah, and that just told me, okay, I know where this guy's heart lies. I know how much family, your lady, and not just lady, and that sounds almost Iron Man protector. It's more like I think you do that for anyone that you probably love, whether that be friend, family, or wife in this case. So that whole.
I think that's why I do comedy.
Yeah. Well, what? How does that link?
Oh, because you see, well, my mom told me that from when I was little, whenever I got into trouble, it was for defending other people. I was always standing up for other people, and like with comedy, if you deep it, most of the stuff I talk about comes from like injustice, one way or another. Even if I dress it up in a silly way, like we look at Britain's Got Talent, for example, the semi-final. I was angry about George Floyd. I was angry about what was happening in Nigeria with SARS. I was angry about police brutality. I haven't been harassed by police in years, but it still angers me. And I can't fight for everybody physically. Now, our religion teaches us, I'm a proud Muslim, and our religion teaches us that if you see injustice, first change it with your hand. If you can't change it with your hands, then speak out against it. And if you can't speak out against it, then hold the anger in your heart. But that's the smallest amount of faith. And I try my best to live by that. So when I see things wrong with the world, I can't change it physically. So I do stand up about it. So if you look at many of the things you've heard me talk about on stage, even if maybe part of it is silly, it always links back to a serious point. And I think that's what it is, that wanting to defend people or wanting to stand up for what's right is part of the reason why I do stand up. Because if I didn't do that, I'd probably go crazy. I'd probably become a vigilante or something.
Yeah. So what? So in a way, what you're saying is you're like a spokesperson. You're effectively you're talking about what's not right in the world, or you want to get across some points, but you just want to make it funny, and that's your way of. Because I've always thought. The same thing happened when I was at the BBC as well. And they'd say, you know, we want to talk about this on the radio, talk about that on the radio. I said, you got to make it funny because no one cares. No one will listen to you preaching. No one listens to the man on the street shouting about religion. But if you can sell your culture, if you can sell it in a way that's, you know, funny or comical or even entertaining, you welcome more people in. So you're preaching your word, but you're just choosing the tool of humor to do it.
That's exactly what Simon Cowell said.
Oh, what did he say? What?
He said that, yeah, he loves that I've got a message, but it's not too preachy, you know? So that's what it is. And all my favorite comedians who inspire me are like that. So, you know, I mean, I've got respect for every type of comedian, you know, it's our art form and I love it. But for me, the best comedy is when there's a message behind it. That's why, you know, all my favorite comics were like that. The Richard Pryors to the Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, George Carlin. I like those guys that have something to say. To me, like my friend Ola always says, the difference between a clown and a comedian is that a comedian has something to say.
Yes. That's very good. And what will you be saying now? Because now you're out there. The brand Nabil is out there. It's been on big time mainstream telly, MasterChef. And haven't you recorded something? Do we know what you've recorded recently? Do we know if there's a show that you?
I like it to be a surprise.
Okay, there's another show which is coming up soon. We're going to see you on. Basically, we're going to see you on mainstream telly, right?
A lot.
But then what does the message for you as a kind of? Because you've got to now think about yourself as a product. I'm saying, you know, almost like what is the Nabil message now? You know, how does the vehicle adapt itself? Oh, before it was like this. Now let's add some spoilers and a UV light around the bottom. I don't know. You know, like I'm kind of building on this car. And let's change the wheel. But what was the BGT Nabil, and now you're like, okay, I know what to add on now, or I know how to evolve it, or the world's changing and everything's changing, what you can say and what you can't say. So. What dictates where you go with Nabil Abdul Rashid, the product that we see out there?
So I will never think of myself as a product because, you know, even though I know to some people I am, obviously, because I have to be sold or whatever. But for me, it will always be what is genuine. I've gotten this far by not thinking too much about whether people like what I have to say or not. I've just spoken. So I'm just going to continue on that same path and continue doing what I'm doing. And you know what? If people like it, they like it. If people don't, they don't. If I get cancelled, I get cancelled. But my path is clear. I'm just going to be me, you know? And I think once you're authentically yourself, you can never be out of date or whatever because you're not trying to keep up with anybody. You know, I started doing what I'm doing. You can look at videos of me from 10 years ago. And even though maybe technically I'm better at what I do now, I've been doing the same thing. Now people are trying to copy me. I've seen people who never used to do the sort of thing. Now they're trying to copy because they see it working, you know? But you can't beat me at what I've been doing my whole life. Because even before stand-up, right from when I was 5, the same things I say, the same things I talk about, the same mentality has been there consistently. I've never been any other person but who I am. So I'm just going to continue like that. You know, it's up to God what happens.
Okay, but like me, like you, we're family men, right? Like you say, we have to provide, we have to protect, we have to look after our families. So the cancel thing scares me. I did get cancelled, right? And,
yeah, I remember.
And I feel, and I feel like for the wrong reasons. And I feel like there were reasons where you probably could have cancelled me, but it wasn't anything to do with any of the things that they use. So you suddenly feel you're swallowed up and this avalanche is landing and it's horrible. Well, you're way more on the front line of that. You know, mine was through an association almost. So, you're always treading that line. And it is scary, or do you have to not be scared? You have to kind of forget that you're close to the edge and just walk anyway. I mean, like, where do you stand on cancel culture? Where do you stand on that? And
I think there's always going to be elements that want to silence certain groups of people. Some of those elements are more powerful than others, right? But all my heroes, man, like talk about being cancelled. Most of my heroes didn't even live full lives; they got killed. So it's like, Malcolm X got bullets. So why am I scared of a bunch of idiots on Twitter? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing. Well, okay, people will disagree with you, whatever. I believe whatever Uparwala, whatever God, Allah has written for me is mine. So you can try and stop me. If it's written that your attempts will be successful, then they will be. If they're not, then they won't. Obviously, we trust in Allah, but we tie our camel. So I'm not out here being reckless and just saying crazy shit for the fun of it.
No.
But, within reason, you speak your mind. You do what you have to do. And there's no point worrying about things you can't control. There's no point, because some of the people we see getting cancelled in the worst way are people with the most flipping manufactured image. Look at all these influencers and makeup artists and people with millions of fans that still go and do something and lose 1 million fans or 500,000 fans in one day. The reason it was so easy for everything to fall was because it was on a shaky foundation. They were fake to begin with. Whereas with me, people already know what I'm like. They already know what I'm about. It's already there. So there's nothing that I can do unless it's a crime, unless it's something criminal. What could I possibly say that is a surprise?
Yeah,
that would get me cancelled. What could I possibly do?
And you that's not your humor anyway. You wouldn't just go in on anything. That's not you.
I don't
anyway.
punch down. No, I always punch up. So
okay, is punching up going to get called out? I think there's only a matter of time before we go, actually, they're going to say, we can't even punch. No one should be punching anyway. And we're going to be, you should just make, I don't know.
Then we kick.
Okay. Then we use a different limb. But do you see what I mean? So, okay, the future. Do you feel optimistic now? Where are you at? Where's your head at? You said, okay, well, I asked you at the very start if you feel strong. Do you feel strong right now? Yeah. Where things are at, post-COVID, we're opening up, where you're at, having done the BGT, having done all that stuff, you feel positive right now?
I feel grateful. I feel very grateful because I know that it could easily have gone differently. I'm very happy for the opportunities that I have. And I've been able to change a lot of things in my life, which wasn't even bad, to be honest, before all of this. So I'm grateful and I'm hopeful, but obviously we have to be we have to be ready, ever ready for the worst case scenario. You can't just get too comfortable because good times create weak men. So no matter how good times are for me, I always try and remember when things weren't so good. I always have that at the back of my mind. So that one, I appreciate what I have. And two, if things were to go badly, for whatever reason, I'll be prepared to deal with those situations.
So many of your references are battle orientated. Have you noticed that? Good times create weak men. It's like it's all about prepare for this. I swear you were a warrior in your last life, or maybe this is your warrior now status. But that's your mindset, isn't it? It's very much like a warrior mindset.
I mean, I would see myself as more of a philosopher, but then remember that all the great philosophers of Greece went to war.
Yeah.
So, it's better to be a warrior in a garden.
Exactly.
And a gardener,
It's true. It's true. And by the way, because you dropped in a couple of phrases, I love it when you just drop in the Punjabi. I don't know why I love that so much. I think it's because, again, it's that whole, you think I'm going to get a hook and I actually get a jab or all that kind of thing. I just don't know. And I just adore it. I think it's great. And that's your world. Does your wife speak Punjabi all around you? Is it or Urdu Punjabi? What gets spoken at home?
She doesn't even speak English.
She doesn't
even speak English. So it's a bushwoman,
Just noises. Nabil.
Just
Nabila.
Exactly. That's all You know, the first time I met her, she only knew how to say Southall in English. Apart from that,
Abdul.
I just found her lost. You know,
That's good of you. Do you think there'll ever come a time when you're in a car with other people and you'll take the back seat? Because you know, it's like when I'm in a car with Nabil, that's it. It's like, okay, you have to take the back seat. Like that. I just want to know. Will there come a time where I get to sit in the front?
no.
Okay, fine. Just checking. All right, that's brilliant. Then we can wrap there. That's really
Unless
that's
it's a hammer or something, then
yeah. Yeah. Unless exactly. Unless it's a limousine, then you could then I might. Nabil, listen, I have nothing but respect for you, and I just love watching you on stage. I love hanging out with you. I know that nothing you say is going to be serious. I'm ready. I was on my guard even when this podcast started, thinking he's going to come out with something because you're going to go, hey, and you're a wind up. I don't know if I know your wife can.
Me, a wind up.
You love the wind up. He just comes out the most random wind up thing, and it's just like it's like you exist just to entertain yourself. We're all in the Nabil world. This is the Nabil show. Everywhere you go, and it's like
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay, so you'll come to me and you'll go, hey, what's your problem with Atif Nawaz? And I'm like, I haven't got no problem with Atif. Yeah, Atif was really bad mouthing. I'm like, what, based on what? Atif would never say anything bad. But you're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, what? What? But you look at you smugly smiling now.
I have no clue. This is all assassination of my noble character.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I love it. I love what I'm saying is, I love your.
I must say, I love the Junaid Jamshed poster behind you, though.
See, no need. Now people are going to have to watch this on YouTube to know that there is no Junaid Jamshed poster. And what a random bloody... No, why him? Why Junaid?
What's wrong with Junaid Jamshed?
Nothing. See, now, this is what I mean.
Oh,
no,
there's that bias against Pakistani music.
No, there you go. See? That's where it comes from. Okay, I can edit this out. No, I'm not going to edit this out. I'm going to leave this in. No edits. Listen, love and respect. Thank you so much for making the time. I'll let you relax and enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you very soon.
Take care.
Cheers, Nabil. Thank you, bro.
God bless, bro. Take care. Rabraka.
Wait. Before you go, I need to ask you to make sure you have hit the subscribe button and you are listening to these podcasts regularly. So if they're on YouTube, if you're watching this now, lucky you get to see my face as well as hear the voice. Please do hit the bell button and hit the subscribe thing and get involved with the whole channel so you can stay up to date with what's going on. It really does make a difference for us. We then know where our subscribers are, the kind of episodes you're listening to, and then I can give you more of that kind of stuff, more of the good stuff. You want more good stuff? Hit subscribe to this podcast right now and follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Just go find the Tommy Sandhu podcast and welcome it into your life.